Hi guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the In the Hub podcast, brought to you by Playbox Technology UK. Today I'm joined by Pratt and Stephen Ellis from US Broadcast Distribution. Based out of Boston, Massachusetts, US Broadcast Distribution pride themselves on providing quality live production and broadcast equipment to a huge range of resellers, dealers, systems integrators and customers. Really hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the In the Hub podcast. Eric and Steve, how are you guys doing today?
We're good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Doing great.
Yeah, that's good to hear, guys. And we'll just get straight into the questions then, if that's okay with you guys.
Lay on.
Out of curiosity, guys, how did you both get your starts in the broadcasting industry? And Eric, if you'd like to go first.
I'll let Steve go first because he was first in.
All right, so I'll try to be brief because I'm an older guy. I first got involved in media production. I worked for Columbia Picture Screen Gens as I shaded cameras. You two young guys probably don't know what that is, but back in the old days, you had tubes and you had to shade and register the tubes every time you turned it on. But after that, I was in production for 15 years. And then I switched over. I ran a company called Editel Sound and Film, which was in Boston. That's what got me to Boston. And we did very high-end graphics, soft homage, and we had half a dozen Avids and things, linear tape suites that people don't have anymore. So I switched over to the manufacturing side and had my own dealership for 6 years and distributed products for Pinnacle, Abacus, all names of the past. And then right after that, became director of sales of US and Latin America at Pinnacle, and then moved on to other companies as we do in our industry, VizRT, Chiron, and then 6 years at Telestream. I was their worldwide sales manager. And then before joining Eric, I was CEO of a company in Boston called Broadcast Picks, who built switchers. So a long history. I did tell you I was older, so and I tried to keep it brief. So let me turn this over to Eric because he's the guy with all the energy in the company. He's the young guy. So.
Well, I have an equally long story, but it's easy to compress into. In my teens, I started working for a reseller of video equipment, and I went out for dealer training to a manufacturer of computer-based switchers, and they hired me on the spot. I worked for them for a year and quit there, and I've been my own boss since. So I've had a couple of different companies. Virtual Setworks made virtual sets. It was a real popular for its day company for doing any kind of background for a TriCaster, vMix, or Telestream, Wirecast, OBS, what have you, basic editing programs. So did that for a few years, and then back in where are we? 2021, I guess. 2015. I started US Broadcast. So US Broadcast Distribution is a company that handles distribution and the technical support and infrastructure for various live production technologies. So that's sort of our niche in the world, is that we focus on distributing live broadcast gear and anything that's good.
Yeah, and guys, I'm just again curious. What is it that has kind of kept you both hooked in this industry? Can you boil it down to one thing, or is it a mixture of things, or do you not even want to be in this industry anymore? Will we find out next week that you've gone on to brighter things? What has kept you hooked?
For me personally, it's the constant change and constant learning curve. It's always something new. In the past year, it's been phenomenal. I mean, the pandemic has been awful, but the change in our industry has been so dramatic, and it impacts everything we do. We were just briefly before this podcast talking about trade shows. People are very comfortable now doing exactly what we're doing right now. So it's going to change how we do things. It's had a major impact on our company because we provide almost all the technologies you need to do this stuff. PTC cameras, encoders, decoders, storage, servers, all the things that are elements of us. And my specialty with the company is really more advanced workflows, like Playbox, ingest, playout, CG, that kind of stuff. But the demand is really high right now, and it's helping our company grow really quickly.
I love the technology. I was hooked from my first NAB, where my first NAB, I was actually in a vendor's booth demonstrating a graphics live production graphics solution. And that was the company that I ended up going to work for. And just all the different ways that you can encode video and manipulate it and modify it to create live productions. It's something that, I don't know, I just magnetically and naturally fall into. I don't think I would do anything else.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you guys there. I think it is that excitement and the pace that technology changes. And I haven't actually been in this industry for that long, maybe a year or two at the moment, working with Playbox. And it's something that instantly hits you. It's just how every day there is something new to be taking, to keeping an eye on, basically. So I think it's fair to say you both probably won't be leaving the industry anytime soon then. And that's fair to say.
Yeah, probably not.
I figure I'm halfway through it,
Yeah. That's a good mindset.
I've been doing it for 25 years. I've got another 25 to go.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the only one way I'll leave the industry, and it's unfortunately the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it is that intriguing and it's changing so quickly. The biggest fear I've always had in my career is being bored, and it's never been boring. Trust me, it's never been boring.
No.
From
I don't think there's any chance of that.
supersized silicon graphic workstations that look like refrigerators that cost $500,000 down to a PC that does more, with an NVIDIA card that does more than all those big silicon graphic workstations combined. So, things like Pixar become a reality because of all the things that are going on in our industry. So it's great. It's a good time. It's exciting if you like change. If you don't like change, you're in trouble.
So guys, obviously going back through your kind of history and your past in this industry, being involved with lots of different companies and running your fair share, what would you say is probably the hardest part of running a company in the broadcast industry specifically? Is it that pace of innovation, the high barriers to entry in terms of cost, or something completely different?
Yeah, I'd say we're coming across a theme at this point with the speed at which the technologies change. Keeping on top of these things is a challenge. There's always something new, and in order, it's accelerating. The pace of change has just gotten quicker and quicker, and that didn't slow down in 2020 at all. It went faster and faster, and I guess that's probably just going to keep going, and keeping on top of it and making sure that the business side of things still makes sense. Steve will probably tell you, the Avid as an example. Their systems sold for $100,000 a pop, that very, very easily and very often. And now you can get an editor that does the same thing for free. So, the constantly changing dynamics of software and hardware and customers and technology, and making sure that the business side of things makes sense to help us do what we love, is the challenging part.
We also have some unique times. I think, content has always been what drove all in our industry. What's happening today is content's been being delivered by a whole different group of people. It's not just people like Netflix and HBO. It's people setting up their own little networks or own broadcasting centers. It is now harder for the bigger guys to amateurize or to get back their investment in what they're delivering on air. So I think the challenge is twofold. One, on the customer side, to make sure they make enough profit to continue to grow and be profitable, and also compete with a bevy of new type of deliveries that are all driven by .coms or by web-based solutions. The second thing right now in the past year is getting product to these folks in a timely fashion. You may want to buy something. You may not get it right now. So processors, servers, storage are all in high demand and tough to get. So customer faces a real challenge. Fortunately, we inventory a lot of stuff, which is tough on us as a distributor, but you have to do it. You have to have cameras and things in stock, so to compensate for a lack of product out there.
Yeah, and especially at the moment, the shipping times are a bit of a mystery at the moment. Brexit and obviously COVID going on as well.
Well, we're also going to go into a shortage of storage here, and storage, obviously, with regards to playboxes, if you're storing video, you're doing it on spinning disks, and with that new cryptocurrency that's come out, which is storage based, we're going to see all of the existing inventory just evaporate. So one of the things I'm working on today is, making sure we have an adequate inventory of storage to, fulfill orders moving forward, for the, perceivable future. What Ethereum did to GPUs, which we're still reeling from, Chi is going to do to storage. So, it's just gotta make those keep on top of things. It's that accelerating pace of change. You got to keep on top of things and make sure you've got products to help people do what they want to do.
It's as if we didn't have enough things to keep tabs on already, and now cryptocurrency we've got to be watching as well. And then what do you believe is the best part about running a company in this space? And you're not allowed to say money, but what do you think is the best part?
Money doesn't hurt. And again, I guess it's the same answer to all questions. I love keeping on top of all the new technologies. I mean, it just, sometimes it just gets my mind blown about, all the new things that pop up. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch The Mandalorian. It's a series on Disney Plus, and the way that was shot was they didn't shoot it on a green screen. They shot it in a 360-degree LED wall, and they were able to do it so effectively that it looked immersive. And technologies like that are they're just amazing to behold and see evolve, even if not all of those things are things that we directly sell. We're ancillary to them. We do sell display wall controllers, so we sell something that and I have a strong background in 3D from working with virtual sets, and we get people who use our products to launch rockets and land rovers on other planets, or at least they don't use our products to land rovers on other planets, but they at least use them to stream the videos of those activities live. Space is a really cool thing, and we have customers that do everything from the NFL to amazing worship services to launching reusable rockets. The different industries that we get to touch is amazing. And again, money doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I think it's the freedom to make decisions that affect what you're doing every day and help, immediate impact on what your company does and the company's success. It's many, many years ago, I worked at AT&T in their audio video department. I ran their stuff in a very large facility, $26 million facility in New Jersey. I had 50 people, but still at a company like that with 1 million employees, it was management by committee. It took months to get things done. Here, Eric calls me or I call Eric and say, we should be doing this. And guess what? In a week, we might figure out how to do it, or 2 days you find, so that freedom to make decisions and act quickly is exciting for me. I'm probably a better go do things kind of guy than I am an employee. So I'd probably be a lousy employee. So.
Yeah, that's great. And moving into US broadcast, so I know we touched on it quite a few times, but for anyone who doesn't know, and I don't want to say kind of do an elevator pitch here, but what is it that you guys do, and how long have you been doing that?
We started in 2015, which doesn't sound like that long ago, but that was 6 years. And trust me, it's been a lifetime in and of itself. And we are a distributor of fine broadcast technology products. And our particular niche is that we know the products that we sell. We're not just a box house. You could have an organization that shifts products in one door and out the other. And there is some value in that. But personally, from my standpoint, I know every product that we have down to its nuts and bolts. So technologically speaking, I know every IP format that we deal with, every video format that we deal with, every computer component that goes in, every device that we sell, so that, we can adequately support our resellers and our customers. And that's, that's something I really enjoy, and I like to think I'm good at it. And that's U.S. broadcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, I can't say anything better than that, other than I'm proud to be part of the fact that we're growing something, and proud of the work we do for our customers. So I think that's a pretty exciting thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. And I saw you guys putting quite a lot of emphasis into kind of webinars and this kind of more educational digital content, especially during COVID-19. How important do you guys think providing this digital content is for your dealers and end users? And do you think you'll kind of continue down that route post-COVID?
So our vendors have different levels of skill at creating content to express what is important about their products to customers. And I found, while I personally am actually a little bit shy, I found that I'm pretty good at creating videos it's not just an unboxing. Unboxings are stupid. I take a product out of a box. Look, this is what the packaging looks like. I like taking a product and explaining to people what its value is, what is important. Like, why are you watching this video? Because this thing this is what's important about this thing. This does something unique. And we did that before COVID happened, and we found that it was important before COVID happened. We found that it was important during COVID. It's going to be important after COVID.
Yeah, one of the other things to realize is that our customers, and I mean the end user, to be honest with the dealers, the resellers are our customers, but so is the end user who's doing this. They don't have the kind of staffing they used to have in the past. You might find a place that had a chief engineer, assistant chief engineer, somebody doing specialty work in a facility. Now it's one or two people because people are watching their budgets, and so they need instant access to information. And I think the videos help them get a very quick overview of what we're doing, what the product does. So you drill down pretty quickly. So I think that's a very important reason for doing the videos.
Yeah, and I think they're brilliant, guys. I think that's exactly what we needed, and what your vendors need is just straight to the point. Why is this useful? I don't mind an unboxing video; they're quite satisfying sometimes, but it's key, that you get straight into the nuts and bolts of it, and you say, this is how it's going to benefit people. And I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, guys, outside of the podcast. And just this week, obviously the news broke that IBC is being moved to December, still in Amsterdam. And of course, we all know that NAB show is going ahead in October as well. Are you guys planning to have a presence at these shows? And do you think it's important that you kind of jump straight back into these after COVID?
I think it's important to jump straight back into them. I am extremely enthusiastic to be back at NAB. As I mentioned, it was almost literally one of my first experiences in the industry, and I was absolutely gutted to miss NAB 2020. And so, I'm really, really happy to be getting back to having a booth at NAB 2021. It is going to be a really odd fall because all of the shows are in different time slots. And I think historically, we've just gotten used to having IBC and NAB 6 months apart, and between them's InfoComm. And now they're all within spitting distance of each other, with IBC moving a little bit further away from NAB and InfoComm. I think that gives them a little bit of a better chance to bring people in from other continents. But it's really too early to say what things are going to be like 7 months from now, to say whether that was a good move or not. Because frankly, I would think that IBC is going to be a regional show this year, and hopefully next year everybody goes back to their regular time slots. Hopefully, having NAB be only 6 months after NAB is also going to be weird. I don't know about that, but I don't know how many North and South Americans are going to travel to IBC like they historically have, because it's the antipode to NAB 6 months earlier in April. And everybody loves Amsterdam in September. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful time of year to be there. I've done ISE in February in Amsterdam. It's not my favorite, but It is what it is. I think we're going to play IBC by ear. We're working on Infocom at the moment. Infocom obviously being a few weeks after NAB is also, it's challenging from a logistical standpoint. Literally, if we have to, pull up everything from NAB and to ship it to Florida, that's a challenge in and of itself, and we're not the only ones in that boat. But yeah, I think it's important to get back to it. While I mentioned that, doing these things digitally and online and creating content and doing webinars have been invaluable and are going to continue to be really important tools. I know a lot of people are also sick of them. They're ready to, go sit down at a trade show and meet and greet in first person. I know for sure everybody's looking for a good excuse to go to Vegas. So, it'll be an interesting and unusual show, to say the least. And I can't wait to see it.
And frankly, my favorite sushi bar is in Vegas, so I can't wait to get back to that.
And that's the only reason. So I guess me not having gone to one of these expos before in the broadcasting industry, like, it's going to be strange if this year is my first. To obviously see it not at its full running capacity or anything like that.
Yeah.
But again, we will have to wait and see and play it by ear.
I'd expect them to be 50% attendance. But IBC historically has had half the attendance of NAB. I never leave IBC saying to myself, gosh, I only met half as many people as I wanted to. I always leave IBC thinking, I actually didn't talk to as many tire kickers. So the 50,000 people that won't go to NAB this year probably aren't the 50,000 people I want to talk to. So I still feel like it's going to be a valuable show, and I still feel like IBC would be a valuable show.
And guys, if you could sum it up in one word and one word only, what do you both envision for the future of the broadcasting industry?
Eric, I think I'll let you go first while I think about this.
I was going to do the same. Yeah. I mean, it's, I think we'll see the trends that are extant, that really got their kickoff during COVID, continue. The, remote production was already a thing, but, COVID proved it. COVID forced it to the front. The ability to bring in guests anywhere on earth to a live production, the acceleration of technologies like SRT, and vMix has a feature called vMix Call, which allows you to bring in remote guests. That's kind of, what I'm seeing near term. I think the CEO of the first company that I worked for, that computer-based switcher company, he said something very prescient, but probably also 20 years too soon, which was something like, your favorite television program will be made by somebody that you know, which can also be interpreted as that content 20, 30, 40 years ago was made by a very small number of people, and it had to be very generic in order to appeal to the broadest reach. I Love Lucy, Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days. Nowadays you can have a show about rock climbing, you can have a show about fish, you can have a show about having aquariums, you can have a show about having groupers in aquariums. It's content can be extremely niche now, and I think that's just going to evolve.
So I have the benefit of having a 3-year-old granddaughter, and before she came along, I had no idea how much content is changing, who delivers the content. So she watches 3 shows. One is a show called Blippy. He travels around the US and does museums and kids venues. He's worth $26 million now. His audience is 3-year-olds. The next level up, that is a show called Gabby. And the audience for that has become over 96 million, whatever it is, a crazy amount. And there's this little kid named Ryan who reviews toys on the internet. He sold his company for $18 million at 9 years old. So the kind of content is going to change how we deliver the materials. It's not really broadcasting, but broadcasting is how we define broadcasting is changing so quickly that when you ask that question, it's hard to answer because it's, you can have a show about breweries and put it on the web, and all of a sudden you have your own select channel, and you need cameras, you need storage, you need all types of tools to do this, but it's definitely changing. You'll go to NAB and you'll see switcher products that are driven by iPhones. There's no longer cameras at the end; it's iPhone. So how do you acquire content? So it's changing so rapidly. When you ask that question, it's hard to define. It's the big networks, the ABCs, the NBCs, the CBSs have to reinvent themselves constantly. Over the top stuff is driving almost the cable industry out of business right now. I don't think I've watched TV in a year. It's all through apps. It's all on the web. So it's changing quickly. So predicting what's going to happen next, really tough. Like I said, when my 3-year-old granddaughter came in and turned on the TV, and I said, "There's like 100 channels that I didn't know exist, worth millions and millions of dollars." So you better ask somebody younger, probably somebody who's like 10 or 12, right?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off there, guys. Me thinking about it as well, it's almost kind of overwhelming. You think anything could happen, literally anything. Well,
I'm at the top end of you guys are young and in the career, and I started working before you actually were out of university or high school, and instead of running videos on 2-inch tape machines, it's on your thumb drive, or stored in the cloud, or it's remarkable how much things have changed.
Yeah.
So. And it's, like I said, it's also exciting.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, are there any kind of exciting plans in the pipeline for US broadcasts that you can talk to us about today?
I'm going to kick up doing more product videos. We've had sort of a growth evolution stage the last couple of months. New offices, warehouses, employees, which have really kind of put me on my heels in terms of getting back to the stuff that I love and have mentioned earlier, about explaining content and, developing it. So I think we've finally rounded that corner, and this summer I'm just gonna kick it out, take products apart and videotape myself while doing it. We have a lot of great new products coming our way in the next, between now and NAB, which should mean NAB is going to be a really fun show to show off all that new stuff to people who are excited to get back and creating videos for all those products. And that's what's on my plate.
Yeah, and as you know, I joined the company recently. I'm one of those new guys, and my stick here is actually to kind of focus on the bigger workflow solutions and the kind of stuff that you sell at Playbox and manufacture at Playbox. So it's a lot to grasp right now, and migrating that into our customer base right now and growing and segmenting the kind of dealers and integrators we have is kind of my focus over the next 6 months.
So, but
there's a lot to be done.
Yeah, it sounds like really exciting times, and it's just good to hear people planning ahead now that there's kind of like this roadmap that we can actually follow now, and it's not complete uncertainty. But so how can people get in touch with you guys or contact you both individually if they want to get in touch? So
the best place to start is our website, usbroadcast.co. That's not .com. It's .co. Our contact info is there. I would be Eric at usbroadcast.co. Steve would be Steve at usbroadcast.co. So those are some good ways of getting a hold of us. Our phone number's on the website. We like to be easy to get a hold of, so that's we feel like you ought to be able to reach out to us there. We have all kinds of other miscellaneous Facebook and YouTube pages, but you can find those on our website. So best way I would say first step would be to visit us there, see the brands and products that we have, and ask us questions and watch videos and ask us questions and contact us. And I love getting a call with a good trick question, a good project. I love the calls that start, I'm trying to do something crazy. I can't figure out how to do it. What do you got? So that's what I love. So feel free to reach out to us.
Yep. So what we'll do, we'll link that in the description of the podcast as well. So if anyone wants to go and get in touch or browse the website, they can do that. So thank you very much, guys, for obviously taking the time out today. We really do appreciate it. And thanks for a fantastic episode.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys.
Take care now.
Good.